Peace and greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Healing Kitchen with Kay. This morning, I'm going to make a quick pancake, not so basic pancakes. These pancakes, pretty much as healthy as I can make them. They're going to be containing a few extra ingredients that make them, nutritionally beneficial towards women's reproductive systems and organs, things of that nature, and also increases libido if they were consumed by a male. Just thought you might find that helpful. Okay, here's the basic Kodiak cakes, right? I choose these because basically when you read the ingredients, which are here, they have all products that I can recognize, and that's normally how I shop for my food. Like, I like to eat potato chips, I like to eat other things that aren't necessarily considered to be healthy per se, but I try to find the option that is the least toxic or has ingredients that I can recognize easily, or components of ingredients that are plant-based, okay? So, Kodiak cakes, I use the Great Grains cereal by Post, because it has the nuts and the clusters and the other stuff that adds texture to the pancake. Also, I'm gonna add a little bit of cashew milk. You only really need water for this mix, but it gives you the option to either, if you, depending on level of protein or whatever else you wanna add to it, you can use the just milk instead of water, or you can use milk and an egg. I don't particularly care for eggs, although I use them on occasion, so I just decided to add a little bit of cashew milk. Next, it's gonna be this, which is the milk thistle. Okay, show you what it looks like. Okay, little seeds basically, and also Maca root. Show you what that looks like. Can you see? Okay. So, of course, I got my bowl and I got my pan and all that stuff here. Right. Okay. Oh, also, I'm gonna add. Hold on for just a second. Cranberries. Well, okay. Dried cranberries, actually. Okay, so basically start with I'm a little bit ahead of you guys, but start with the pancake mix. I measure out enough to make about 4 to 5 pancakes, because normally that's how much I'll eat, and if I eat any less, I'll just save them and reheat them. Then I add a little bit of the Great Grain cereal. This is me doing my Houdini, right? Okay. Because of the texture of it. See, it has nuts and everything in it. But as a cereal, to keep it a buck, it's not that good. With just milk in this cereal, the flakes get too soggy too fast. It's like, I don't know, it doesn't have any sweetness to it. I don't really like it. But it's good for me to cook with, so I add it to other things. Okay. Now, everything else is pretty simple except for when it comes to the milk thistle and the maca root, right? So basically you add as much as you feel like you need. I don't really try to use too many measuring tools, because I feel like everyone has their own taste. So you can kind of, once you get familiar with flavors, you're able to kind of adjust what works for you and what doesn't. And so since I know how I like mine, I kind of really don't measure it too much. But just for the incidentals, we'll say I would use about a cup of pancake mix, and maybe like a teaspoon of milk thistle, about 5 to 6 maca seeds, and about a half a cup of cranberries, and about a half a cup of the oatmeal cereal. You can also use oatmeal instead. I wanted to take a minute specifically with this maca root and milk thistle so that you would understand how to properly incorporate it into the dish, okay? So here we got just basically both herbs on the cutting board. I haven't figured out how to flip the camera yet. Okay, now when it comes to the milk thistle, I don't have you could use a mortar and pestle, or you can use a rolling pin. Most people would say put a piece of paper towel or plastic or something over top so that they don't fly away. I'm just going to crush a few of them so you can see I've already added it into mine. So basically you just want to kind of crack the seed enough that it will open. Just enough so that it'll open. And you see it's kind of cracked in half. Once they open, they'll break apart more as you mix them and work them into the pancake mix. The second one is the maca root. You want to take that one and crack it open like you would a sunflower seed. When you do that, you take it, peel it back. You want to open it up until you get the white seed that's in the middle. That's what you need. Okay, so you take that and you just want to crush it as well. Enough just to break the seed open. See, it's a little flat like a starfish now. But this is easy to crumble. So once you do that, you can kind of crumble it into a powder. And the more you crumble it, the finer the powder will get, right? Basically, you can add that to smoothies, things that have like a peanut butter flavor, a chocolate flavor, a carrot flavor. It goes well with that. In this dish, we're using it for the flavor because it has as well. Okay, so pretty much added the a little bit of milk. Now you see it looks kind of shimmy. Okay. But it kind of just depends on how the thickness that you like your pancakes. So I just kind of mix it in the same way I would water. If you make them too watery, all you have to do to balance it out is just add a little bit more pancake mix. And it's going to kind of thicken it up a little bit. But the cereal is going to make it thick. And when the cereal that's inside of the mix, because it has like oatmeal and stuff in it, when it cooks, it's going to kind of soak up some of the moisture. So you want to make these a little bit more watery than what you normally would do if you were making pancakes. Just a word of advice. Otherwise, they're going to be kind of dry. So, mix them, 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 mix them. Kind of ghetto. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so, now, mine, like I said, make it a little bit more watery than you normally would. Okay? Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you let the mix breathe. So now that you've got the mix done, the next thing is to get your fire going. You want to put it on a little bit lower than medium heat and give it about 2 minutes to warm up. Okay. Technical difficulties averted. All right. Let me get this hair away from the fire. Okay. Anyway. Giving the pan about 1 minute to 2 minutes to get hot. It should be hot enough that when you drop the first, yes, I'm using that in lieu of actual dairy products. Even though this is basically oil, I prefer the taste over just using like a sunflower oil or a grapeseed oil. I don't like pancakes made with oil. I like the butter taste, not the oil taste. So since I don't necessarily eat butter, I'm going to use I can't believe it's not butter because it still tastes like butter. Anyway, the pan should be hot enough that the butter sizzles as soon as it hit it. So since it didn't, then you know that it's not. You got to give the pancake mix about 2 minutes to kind of, set. While we're waiting, I just wanted to discuss some of the health benefits of milk thistle. Milk thistle itself is good for your actual liver. It aids in function and detox of certain things from your liver. If you're pregnant, it also helps in the production of milk. It helps to protect your bones. It can guard you against dementia. It also works well with cancer therapies and improves the way that they function within the body. I don't know. That's all I can think of right now. But okay, let's talk about the maca root. All right, the maca root is used to increase libido in men and women. It also increases fertility in men. It's got a lot of vitamins, mainly like vitamin C, which is good since the weather's changing or whatever. Okay, so basically I pour the pancake mix into the pot. I wait for the pancakes to be kind of dry on one side with holes. The edges of the pancake should be dry and it shouldn't have holes in the middle. That's what my grandma used to tell me. That's when you know it's time to flip it. Now the first one is always going to be a little light on one side. That means that your heat's not up high enough. It should be crispy brown. Pick it up. It smells like cake. But yeah, pretty much. Okay, so we're at the last pancake here, right? While we get this last one rolling, let's talk about substitution. I know I mentioned a couple earlier. Well, let's say you don't have any cereal. You can use any cereal that has ingredients that you want in your pancake. So if you have Raisin Bran, you can use Raisin Bran. I'll give you raisins, and it will increase the nutritional value, and it'll make it a little bit thicker and change the taste as well. What else? You can use regular oatmeal. Like it's gonna add flavor. So I like to add different kinds of nuts. You don't have to use the same exact kind of nuts. Like if you don't, you can add walnuts are good, pistachios are good, sunflowers are good. All of these I would recommend you crush them as much as you can to kind of break them up so you're not biting into whole pieces of nuts each time. Pause. But okay, while this last one cooks, let me go ahead and show you my little trick that I do for syrup. I told you before that I like to taste the butter, so with my pancakes I usually like to make a buttery syrup. I'm gonna take about maybe a good tablespoon, put it in the cup because I'm ghetto. No, stop saying that. And the dark Karo syrup. Now you can use the dark or the light syrup, it just depends on your taste. I usually basically it's just corn syrup and caramel color. So I'm gonna take about as much as I think that I may use for the pancake stacks that I made. Also, you may have noticed that like my pancakes, they're not super huge. I don't like to make the plate size pancakes because they're too hard to flip, basically. So I just added the syrup with the butter. Mix it up a little bit, not too much, just enough. Put it in the microwave for about a minute. Now I got all the syrup and butter on here. As the pancakes come out of the pan, you know, it's good to hit them with a little smear of butter on the top. You know what I'm saying? We buttered down out this piece. Okay, so now just kind of take that out, mix it up a little bit more. Now this last one is done. Hot off the grill. You dig? Okay. That's a baby one because that's what was left from the skin. I'm gonna turn this off. Hit it with a little pat of butter. Right? Bring it over here so y'all can see. Okay. Can y'all see that? Okay. Now, we're going to hit it a little bit with the syrup. Now, because you heated the syrup up, it's going to caramelize a little bit as it cools. It's caramelized, so it's going to cool and get a little bit like candy-like. I just want to make sure that, you know, they get covered. There you have it, the finished product, maca root, milk thistle, and oat pancakes. There you have it, finished product, maca root, milk thistle, and oat pancakes. Enjoy. Peace.